Hey everybody, John with Owl, and I have got a pretty cool product for you today. In fact, it's something we have waited on for borderline 2 years now. We used to be one of the world's largest retailers of pedal boxes, pedal control, call them what you will, but basically they allowed your van to feel a little bit more peppy after it's been built out, weighs a lot more, and you put some awesome looking big old tires on it. But what did we do in that time that we waited? Well, we worked with Banks, one of the premier tuners in the world. And we are proud to announce the introduction of the Banks PedalMonster. Now, how is this just not a regular pedal controller? Well, it comes down to this right here. Now, normal pedal control splices in between the accelerator and the cable going to the computer's ECU. Because what you may not know is when you push on the accelerator of a Sprinter, you're actually not like pulling a cable or opening a throttle body like you would years ago. In fact, it's all kind of fly-by-wire now. So all you're really doing is saying, hey, Sprinter, I want to go faster. And what most pedal control companies do is they intercept that right at the pedal. It works sort of. The problem you run into is there isn't enough power at that junction to effectively run the module, which means that you can get check engine lights, you can have, codes pop up, you can have weird things happen, and worst of all, you could go into limp mode, and then you're kind of going 5 miles an hour and everyone hates you. So don't be hated by everyone. Check this out. So how is this different? Well, yes, it does have to get a reading on the pedal, but more importantly, it plugs directly into the OBD2 port. A lot of you probably know what that is. If you don't, that's okay. It's basically a diagnostics port on every vehicle produced after, I don't know, 1995 or something. It's right in here, and it's basically the opposite version of this. It's, what do they call this? A trapezoid? It's been a while since geometry. It's kind of a trapezoidal plug, and they use that to do things like check engine lights, etc. But what this does is it intercepts the signal from the pedal, but it runs off of the OBD2 port. And that is really, really important because it means that this is always going to get enough power. And that allows us not only to control how the van responds to acceleration, but it also allows you to get all kinds of cool information via this iDash. It's super hot out here today, so everything is like melting around me. But there's the iDash, and the iDash basically shows you all the stuff that Mercedes should show you and doesn't, because they think, oh, the regular average Joe or average Jill, they don't want to know what their actual transmission temperature is. They don't need to know that stuff. In fact, did you know that temperature gauges on vehicles pretty much stay dead center? Meanwhile, the engine temperature goes up and down all the time. They just think you're too stupid to realize that an engine can change temperatures and still be okay. So they actually leave it bang on the middle unless it gets really, really hot or really cold, in which case it'll move to one side or the other. That's not the case with us and Banks. We think that you should be able to have access to all the information you want. And so the iDash will allow you to do that. It's going to allow you to scroll through different menus and get all kinds of information, from fuel mileage to exhaust gas temperatures to oil temperature, and all of these kind of things that are constantly being monitored in the van that you may not be aware of or you want to see and you can't. So that's one of the major advantages. And then I'll leave you with a teaser. I will say this. Not only is there so much more to this you can read about on our site about how if it runs into a problem, it takes itself out of the system, which means that any sort of check engine light or anything like that would instantly go away and you'd be able to use your van normally and you wouldn't go into limp mode. But it also allows for future features. We've got some really, really cool stuff in the pipeline. I can't tell you about it just yet. We've got a lot of folks that like to kind of follow in our footsteps, so you're not going to know about it until we release it, but it will be an industry first, and it will only be compatible with the Banks PedalMonster. So this is finally the addition to our lineup that we have had or not had for years. And having driven this, it is phenomenal, because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. What does it do to your van? So let's talk about how a PedalMonster works. Obviously, it's intercepting the signal of the pedal. You may say to yourself, well, why would you want to do that? When you make these vans a lot heavier than they were stock, and then you put these big tires on them, you're essentially gearing them down. And it means that when you push the throttle, you're getting less rotation of the rear wheel for the amount of throttle that you've pushed. And so with the Banks module and the app, which Dang it. It's on the phone. And you know where the phone is? Right there. It's recording the video. So I'll splice in some video of using the app, but suffice it to say that you have more options and control in the app than anything else on the market. And that's because of the connection. It's going to allow you to change how quickly that pedal responds. But instead of having you go in as if you're an engineer at Mercedes, they make it really easy. It's like harder launch, milder launch, and you can just kind of move it back and forth. You know, you want if you have a diesel and you want the power band to run in these RPMs and you want the kind of torque to come on at this level, you pick this map. If it's a gasoline engine, then you can pick this other map, and so on and so forth. So tons of customizability. Yeah, that's a word. Tons of ability to customize the Banks PedalMonster to your needs, which is really my biggest gripe with a lot of the products on the market is you either get whiplash when you put them in, or you don't have enough control over them, or you get those check engine and those fault codes. So I'm super excited about this. I cannot wait for you to drive it. It's so much better than anything else that's been out there. It's not really something I can show you. You can't really in video show what a vehicle feels like pulling off the line, but the ability, I like to have kind of a more mild start when you've got a bunch of stuff, dishes, gear, water tanks in your van. I actually don't like to jump off the line too hard. So I pick a milder start, but where I really like the kind of the grunt to kick in is after I get rolling. It gets up to speed faster. It gets you, you know, away from a stop sign much better, and so on. So we are in partnership with Banks on this. We are exclusive, so you can get this through Owl. We can obviously install it for you, but if you want to install it yourself, it's pretty easy. Let me show you where it goes in. And you push that little gray thing down right there, and that locks into place. And then all this stuff you can tuck in here. And when you put this panel back on, all of that hides behind there. Now the OBD2 is really easy. That's what a normal OBD2 looks like. This Banks plugs right in there. And then you open up your app and you control how you want your van to handle. So that, my friends, in a nutshell, is the Banks PedalMonster. We have been working with them for a long time because we did not want to bring this to market with them unless it was everything we wanted in a pedal device, and I think they delivered that and more. These are available on our website now. You can buy them with or without the iDash. Highly recommend the iDash. It's pretty cool to see how those things change when you're at altitude, when you're not at altitude, when you're going up a hill, not a hill, etc. So pretty cool bundles you can get on the website. And then they have a dedicated Sprinter mount, unlike this one that's kind of melting in the sun that we cobbled together. Yours will be much nicer. So hopefully you're excited about this. I know I am. Check it out now.